Hey guys, I think I need to adjust my camera again because it was a little off. Let me check my settings here just to make sure everything's looks good. Okay, because it looked a little funky when I first came on here, and now it seems a little better. I don't know if it was just adjusting my camera and here I am adjusting my hat again. Um, okay. So I'll try to quit screwing around with that. Uh, this thing is getting so damn loose that it just will not even, it won't stay a certain way. I figure eventually it's going to just freaking come off of this part of my desk because, most people have them like on this part of your desk, and I am unable to get mine to clamp uh, on that part of my desk the way my desk is made. Um, I'm thinking about seeing if Steve can put it here at this corner because right now we've got it, and you can see it probably. Well, it won't even. I can't even get it pulled up where people can see it now because it's so damn loose. I was trying to tighten it up some. Hold on, if y'all bear with me just a second. Um, I'd have known that this wasn't gonna, work very well when I did it, but now it's like I said, it's gotten so loose that there's no way that I can tighten it up anymore. Um, and so if I try to do this, it just basically almost falls back down. But anyways, there we go. That's a little bit better. Um, anyways, good Lord, now all of a sudden while I was blabbing and doing stuff, we got 7 people in here, didn't we? I'm trying to see, I should have done all this stuff before I got on here, but I didn't know everything was just so off. Um, so let's see. Let me look through these comments here. Afro says, "Hot damn, I love this tune. Hell yes, was." Well, I'm glad you like it. It's a pretty catchy tune. It wouldn't be if I created it, but thankfully it was created by somebody else. Um, hey, Blissful. Blissful, you say I use duct tape for things like that. Yeah, I mean the the little piece of wood on the side of my desk that this is hooked to, it so you can see that is how freaking loose it is. Um, I need to come up with another way to attach it. Dirk, you say, "Hey Dana, while preparing for my new show, An Hour to Kill, I found something interesting you may want to know for your Twin Peaks stream. The girl in plastic more than likely came from the third part." Oh, cool. Hey, Texas. Darky say, "Of the schoolgirls in peril, Red Rings of Fear." That is awesome. Hey, Milect. Darky say, "I used to have rainbow eyes, but then I went to rehab, so all better now." Well, I'm glad in that respect, Dirk, that you no longer have rainbow eyes. Okay. So I really, really honestly was not planning on doing anything tonight. I was not. Uh, and then I got to thinking, sorry, I was trying to turn my, this is the one and only time I've ever gotten a badge or a lanyard like that at any convention I've ever went to, I believe. And so I just kept mine. I don't know what the heck Steve did with his, but anyways, um, I was on the tail end of CK's birthday bash stream last night. And while I was on there, towards the end of it, CK was telling me that I need to come up with a gimmick. Um, and, he was talking about how, he made kind of a joke that he said his favorite part was when I talk about what an asshole Steve is. But then he also said that I get on here and I talk about what's going on with work and different things before I actually get started with whatever the topic of the stream is. And I generally do. So I thought about it and came up with, how people say, oh, well, it's just the daily grind, going back to work or whatever it is that they may be doing that day. It's just a daily grind. So I decided that my segment, this is going to be a new segment that I'm going to have at the beginning of every one of my streams, hopefully. And sometimes it may be me talking about movies that I've got in. I've got a hell of a stack right here that I was just going to show real quickly, run through things that I've gotten here in the last week or so. Sometimes I may be talking about work. Sometimes I may talk about Steve. Sometimes I might talk about my dogs, or it may be a combination of all those things. Whatever I've got to talk about before we get started with the topic of the stream, which the topic of this stream is going to be another Ask Me Anything show, because I was kind of like, I don't really know what to do. I've been so exhausted this week pretty much that I didn't really have a topic. So I thought I would offer up another Ask Me Anything show where you guys can ask any questions that come to mind, except please don't ask me real personal questions because I probably won't answer those. Dirk, you say, was that your first time meeting Raimi? Yes, it was. I had never gotten a chance to meet Sam Raimi before. I had met Ted, and I met Bruce Campbell, and met the ladies of the Evil Dead. I met Danny Hicks at one time. Just different people like that, but never got the opportunity to meet Sam. And it was a dream come true for me. And I'm not overestimating this. It was a dream come true for me. And even though I didn't get a picture with him because I paid $75 for an autograph, I just didn't feel like I should be spending another 75 or more to get a photo op. I don't know whose decision it was. I don't know if it was, uh, Sam Raimi's agent. I kind of get the feeling it was not him, or a handler, or it was the people at the convention that decided, no, we're not letting people do that. It's going to waste, too much time or something like that. They can get professional photo ops if they want a picture. They're not going to slow up the line by taking pictures. I mean, those were several different options I run through in my mind, and I don't know which one is correct. Those are just ideas I had in my head. Dirk, you say that's awesome. And Uncle Bill says it was awesome. And I wholeheartedly agree with both Dirk and Uncle Bill that it was awesome. So I may have to step away here in a little bit because I'm expecting to get some groceries delivered by 9:15, and our shopper is almost got all of our items shopped. She's got 2 more things to get, and then she should be on her way to us. For which I am really thankful for Instacart, because I was going to wait till tomorrow to have them delivered because I've been so wiped out this week. I don't even want to think about going and getting groceries. Um, and I don't know if I mentioned this um, on a stream. And some of you might not even care about this, but one of my guinea pigs passed away Tuesday evening, and I was heartbroken. I'm still heartbroken over it because it was not something I expected. Now, this was my rescue guinea pig that I got from a guinea pig rescue here in Louisville. And yes, there are guinea pig rescues, believe it or not. And she was a beautiful guinea pig, tricolor guinea pig, and I named her Honey after Joe Bob Briggs' original mail girl. My other guinea pig that I got from PetSmart was younger. And I I've read that traditionally guinea pigs can live anywhere from 5 to 8 years. I don't know how old Honey was when I got her. She could have been 2 to 3 years old when I got her, and she lived with us for 2 years. And she was acting fine earlier in the day. She was acting fine the night before, was not acting sick. She was hopping around, running around with Rusty, who is Rusty is named after one of Joe Bob Briggs' later male girls when he was on Monster Vision. And so Steve, bless his heart, he out of the kindness of his heart, he did agree to take me to PetSmart tomorrow. Um, and let me get another guinea pig. Um, Mainly because I don't want Rusty to get lonely and depressed because she's been used to having a friend in there. And I just don't want her to just, she already acts kind of sad and lonely and stuff like that. So I don't want it to get any worse. So I am going to go get another guinea pig tomorrow. Uh, Thank you, Blissful. I appreciate all the condolences. Thank you, Texas. You say sorry to hear that, Dana. Um, Thank you, Dirk. I thank all of you guys for understanding. Dirk, you say you used to have a guinea pig as a kid. His name was Slash. Yeah, it sucks anytime losing a family member. Exactly, and they are family members. Even the little dudes, they're still family members. Um, Blissful, you say my mom rescued a small parrot. He was the same. He passed. Yeah. Um, Thank you again, Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill has already told me once, so I thank you again for the condolences. Okay, so before I bum everybody out talking about the guinea pig, I'm gonna move on to my new part of the stream, which is the Daily Grindhouse, is what I'm going to call it. Um, you say he only swore at your mom. So I'm gonna, and I know that Uncle Bill saw me do an unboxing for this one. But for those of you that didn't get to see that particular stream or hadn't seen it yet, I'm going to show this one again, which I just got in City of the Living Dead on 4K from Cauldron Films. And I know everybody laughs at the sticker sheet, but it is still pretty cool. I'm not going to peel off any of these stickers, and they're sort of funny. You've got the girl puking up her entire intestinal tract, and the sex doll, um, Bob getting his head drilled, the girl getting the nastiness smeared into her face. I'm thinking that's maybe Christopher George getting his brains pulled out of the back of his head. Um, the priest that hanged himself up there. Um, Also, I'm going to try to unfold this. You know, something funny about this, since a couple of you guys were talking about how hilarious it is it just me and my dirty mind? But does it look like the priest is screwing that cross? I mean, I hate to be crude, but that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like he's screwing the cross. I'm not going to use another word. Um, so um, here's a double-sided poster. You get the new artwork there, and you can flip it over, and you get the old Gates of Hell artwork there. Sorry for the glare on that. I have not taken this out of the plastic yet, or the cellophane, but this is the soundtrack. But I want to get a chance to listen to it. I just haven't yet. Um, Darky said that's a killer release, and that sticker sheet is hilarious. Uncle Bill thinks it's hilarious as well. Hey J7. You say, hey Dana, what are your thoughts on the Creep Show 4K announcement? I'm excited. You know, that's another one of my all-time favorite movies that I remember growing up watching. So definitely, yes, I am excited. Um, yes, it is a nice slip. I think so too, Texas. You say fucking Bob. Blissful, you say it's not just you. Okay. So I'm not the only one with a dirty mind here, right? Durkee say I have the standard release coming. I missed out on that one with the soundtrack and sticker sheet. Yeah, they sold out pretty quickly. I was felt lucky that I was able to get one. I thought for sure, because Steve pre-ordered his earlier on, and then I decided I was going to get my own copy, and I thought I probably waited too late, and I won't get in on that. But thankfully, I was able to get it. Now the next one that I got in was just some random. It was really a random double feature that I picked up. And one of the movies I've never seen before, it's an old movie that has James Mason and Helen Mirren and Jack McGowan, who you will remember from The Exorcist, I believe. Um, but the reason why I really bought this Blu-ray double feature is for the second film there, Cactus Flower, with Ingrid Bergman, Walter Matthau, and a very young Goldie Hawn. I absolutely love this movie. It's a 60s movie, late 60s movie. It might be 69, maybe. Yes, it is 69. It's only PG, but very, very hilarious movie. And if you don't know what it's about, I'll give you a real quick and dirty plot synopsis for this. So, Cactus Flower is a delightful comedy sparked by crazy, mixed up situations in a kooky Academy Award winning debut performance from Goldie Hawn, Best Actress in a Supporting Role. Walter Matthau also stars as Julian Winston, an easygoing bachelor dentist whose delicately balanced scheme crumbles under some unexpected circumstances. And part of the scheme is he's an older man dating a younger woman, but he doesn't want to get attached. And the way that he doesn't want to get attached to Goldie Hawn's character is by telling her he's already married. when he's not. So you can only imagine the madcap things that will happen based on that. Listen, you say I love that movie. It's been a while since I watched it. Yeah, I absolutely love this one. The other movie is the one that I haven't seen, and that's Age of Consent with James Mason, Helen Mirren, and Jack McGowan. This one says Michael Powell teamed with actor James Mason, who also co-produced, to make a film loosely based on the life of controversial Australian artist Norman Lindsay. Age of Consent stars Mason as a jaded painter who heads down under, looking for a way to revitalize his creative soul. His self-imposed exile is interrupted by Cora, played by Helen Mirren, an uninhibited young woman on her own journey of self discovery. So both movies came out in 1969. Age of Consent is rated R, while Cactus Flower is only PG. But they both deal with older men um, dating or having relationships with younger women. So the next one I picked up um, is one that I've already watched. Steve and I watched it, but I've said this before, I'll say it again. If only all sequels to movies were made this well. And there have been a handful of them that have been over the years, but this one, in my eyes, really hit the nail on the head in that department. And that is Top Gun Maverick. And I don't know how many of you have seen Top Gun Maverick yet, or even if you like the original Top Gun, but me and Steve are both fans of the original Top Gun. Whatever you may think about Tom Cruise, I think Top Gun's a great movie. Top Gun Maverick does not, in my opinion, disappoint in any way. I have not gotten a chance to actually sit down and watch this 4K yet. And I think I do still have a digital code that I need to send to CK because I usually send him my digital codes. Um, so the next one, I don't remember if I have showed this to anybody on the stream, but this is I didn't get the second sight one. This is the Dark Sky Films one, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K, which really, in my opinion, does look good. So you've got this cool artwork on the slipcover, and then I have the original artwork there on the inside. And you get the feature film, and you also get a bonus disc with a bunch of extra stuff on it that I have not went through it all yet. Here's another one that I got in, and I think Uncle Bill might have gotten this one in too. And that is Mardi Gras Massacre. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. This is a Blu-ray from Severin. I think I got my copy though from Amazon though, and I'm looking forward to this one because this is says with only 5 films, New Orleans-based writer, producer, director Jack Weiss became one of the most enigmatic figures in 70s exploitation, and for his final trashterpiece, Weiss delivered a filth-fueled, disco-drenched, and gore-soaked epic of butchered hookers, hard-boiled homicide cops, and a prissy psycho with an Aztec sacrifice fetish that remains a once-in-a-lifetime sleaze experience. Kurt Dawson, Ronald Tennant, and February 75 Playboy Playmate Laura Mish star in the shocking yet hysterical fever dream of regional filmmaking, with a soundtrack by Dennis Coffey and Mike Theodore, and still banned in the UK as one of the original DPP 39 video nasties, now featuring a 2K master compiled from the best surviving post-Katrina elements and a revealing new interview with Weiss himself. Darky say, yeah, Mardi Gras gets shit on, but I have fun with that super sleazy, horrible acting video nasty. So the next one I got, Steve's probably still thinking, God, why did she get this? Because Steve and I recently watched this, and this was so over the top, so hilariously bad and funny at the same time, which makes it, to me, a must watch. And I told him we got to do a commentary for this sometime. And that is Frostbiter, Wrath of the Wendigo, with the tagline, Hell has frozen over. Vinegar Syndrome put this one out, but again, I ended up getting this from Amazon. So long ago, the mighty Wendigo was defeated and buried in a secret place known only to a select individual tasked with protecting his unholy ground, lest it be revived from the grave. When two arrogant hunters, Gary and Dave, stumble upon the Wendigo's final resting place and kill its elderly protector, they unknowingly revive the ancient demon, which gorily dispatches Dave, taking refuge with another group of hunters in a nearby cabin. The posse are set upon by all sorts of ghoulish creatures, not the least of which is the Wendigo itself. Meanwhile, a young woman named Sandy begins to experience visions telling her that she must now kill the Wendigo. From the snowy wilds of Michigan, Tom Chaney's Frostbiter, aka Wendigo, is a highly ambitious indie horror gem, which inexplicably remained nearly unreleased, save for some local screenings for the better part of a decade, following its late 80s production, featuring clever use of miniatures, highly stylized camera work, and editing, frequent gore, and loads of wintry atmosphere. Vinegar Syndrome was overjoyed at last to debut this folk horror infused regional creature feature on Blu-ray, newly restored in 2K from its 16mm camera negative, and bursting with extras that are sure to rip your head off. Okay. J70 said, I hope they release a US 4K of the Frightener soon. Yeah, that would be cool as well. Darky said, plus I'm a sucker for any Louisiana horror flicks. So the next one, again, I have not watched this one yet, but I'm eagerly looking forward to it. And again, I better get my original in 4K soon. And that is The Exorcist 3. I'm really looking forward to this one. I always did like The Exorcist 3. I mean, The Exorcist and The Exorcist 3, those two just bookend each other and are absolutely, they go together like chocolate and peanut butter, okay? I can just totally forget about the second one because it's just so utterly boring. So they say they're going to deliver my food soon. So I don't think I need to explain what The Exorcist 3 is, but this is an awesome, awesome, awesome movie. So the next one, I know CK talked a little bit about it. He and Aaron, or Uncle Bill rather, and Garrett all were talking about the transfer. And evidently Uncle Bill and Garrett had told CK that the transfer was not good on this one. And this is the second site release for Martin. And it's got, I'm probably not going to be able to get all this out. I'm probably not going to take these cards out, which, like Garrett said last night on CK's birthday bash stream, these aren't really lobby cards, but they're like art cards or portrait cards. They've got some of the characters on them. These are really cool. And you've got this cool Martin book with a bunch of different essays and pictures and all that good stuff. can't really see the writing on it. And the whole package is just really, it's just really, really good. Um, really good packaging on it. And I'm still glad I got it. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to view the film yet. I was watching some of the extras the other night. Um, and some of you that are my friends on Facebook probably saw me when I laid all the stuff out and took a picture of it. Darky say, hell yeah, I got that one as well. That's my all-time favorite sequel one. Brad Dourif's best performance and best jump scare of any film, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a lot of creepy moments in The Exorcist 3 as well. Afro, you say, is it at least better than the DVD 480p? Well, according to Garrett and Uncle Bill, it's not any better than the DVD, which is sad. But I'll try to talk about it later after I've watched it. Now, the last two things I want to show are a couple of Alfred Hitchcock box sets that I haven't really had a chance to dip into yet. Because number one, I've always wanted some box sets of Alfred Hitchcock movies. Number two, since Kelly and I are doing these Alfred Hitchcock streams, whoops, I kind of wanted to have my own coffees. Dang, that hurt my finger. It almost fell out there. So I got the Alfred Hitchcock, the Ultimate Collection. And I also got, this is a UK, I think, set. Just the Alfred Hitchcock collection that has Dial M for Murder, and yes, it has the 3D version, North by Northwest, and Strangers on a Train. Which Strangers on a Train was, believe it or not, not in this Ultimate Collection. So that's one of the main reasons why I got this other one. Avril, you say I love mine. I got it 2 to 3 weeks ago, so it's a win in your book. Getting hard to find now. You say it's a little better, but not that much. Okay, so before, you guys can ask me things at any point in time, but I'm kind of still in Daily Grindhouse mode. So I showed pretty much all the things that I've gotten in the last couple of weeks, which brings me back around to work-related stuff. I got my performance review. This is my first performance review while on the help desk at Smile Doctors, and it was a good one. I fared really, really well, and the good thing is next year I'll be eligible for a pay raise, based on my merit review, as they call them. And I've never been in a job where you got a promotion, or not a promotion, a pay raise based on your performance review or merit review. So I'm really excited about that. But my supervisor had a lot of good things to say to me. He said that I was the second highest closer of tickets. I don't know who was the first. I didn't ask, and I probably wouldn't have been told even if I did ask, but I'm second in that. I'm also top as far as ratings, and that's ratings that team members give to me. My supervisor told me he was very pleased with the way that I interact with people when I'm assisting them, that I make conversation with them and stuff like that, because I guess a lot of people like that. They really enjoy being able to it's not all business, because we'll talk about the weather or talk, I might mention something about horror conventions or my animals. We just have different discussions here and there, or They've asked me if I have kids. I say, well, not human babies, but if you count fur babies, I've got, and scaly babies and all that stuff, I've got a ton of those. Um, so, yeah, I think that was the two main things I wanted to talk about in this daily grindhouse um, section that's going to be added, hopefully, to every one of my streams from now on. So you guys can look forward to that. Before we get into the bulk of the questions, and I hope people got some questions to ask me, I did want to remind everybody that I won't be doing anything tomorrow night, but Saturday, April 1st, I will be doing a April Fool's Day, the April Fool's Day from 1986 watch along. Unfortunately, I was not able to find a copy online for free, so we will be restricted to watching our own copies. On the other hand, for Sunday night, well, the April Fool's Day will be Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If anybody wants to join in on that, they can. Sunday night, because it's the first weekend in April, first weekend of the month, you get a bonus watch along, and the watch along will be for City of the Living Dead. And I do have a link for that movie. So, again, if you just want to come to the chat, that's great. If some of you want to join live on either one of those watch alongs, you are welcome to. And Monday, barring anything happening, Uncle Bill is going to be joining me for the first Twin Peaks stream where we do an episode breakdown. I think there's going to be 3 of these streams. I believe TJ may be on there live with us, and also Rob Scottra will be on there as well. So we got all that coming up. Just wanted to remind everybody of all of those things that are coming up, and they're on the horizon. Okay. Dirk, you say that's kick-ass, Nana. You say I only have 37 films I haven't watched that I own. I try to keep that number under 50. Oh, thank you, Texas. You say that's awesome. Dirk, you say, what is the film that got you hooked on horror? Oh my gosh. I don't think, Dirk, that there was really one film that got me hooked on horror. But I'll tell you the one I don't want to say incident, but the thing was my mom was always into horror movies. When she was a kid, she used to put those plastic vampire teeth in and run around chasing her sister saying, I want to suck your blood, and making them scream and stuff like that. So I think my main love of horror comes from my mom. Um, and so I got that honest. And also, my parents used to go to a lot of horror movies back in the drive-in days. And so they went to drive-ins when they were dating. They also continued to go to drive-ins while I was growing up. And also when my brother was a baby, they would take him and he'd be in his little carrier, and their little old me would be, little 6-year-old me would be there as well. So I remember certain things. I didn't remember whole movies. But for instance, I remember my parents taking me to the drive-in when prom night was playing. And I didn't remember the entire movie. I was too young, I'm guessing. But I did remember the beginning part where the kids are playing the killer game that's like hide and seek, only you say the killer is coming, the killer is going to get you. And then when you find somebody, you say kill, and they've got to join you and be a killer and help you find some of the other people that are hiding. But I remembered that part, and I remembered them chasing little Robin around and causing her to fall out the window at the beginning. I remembered all of that clearly, vividly, but nothing after that. So it's weird, the way time does. Um, so I guess you could say maybe prom night did it. But I think it was like, for me, truly, it was a combination of things. It was being allowed to watch that kind of stuff, or some of that kind of stuff, at a young age. I didn't watch the real rough stuff or anything like that. And then basically, I grew up on Friday the 13th films, Halloween films. A lot of that stuff was on TV, albeit a cut form, when I was growing up. I've said this before. We had a channel 44, or Fox 44, when I was growing up. That was a local channel. And every year around Halloween, they would show, it was kind of like AMC is now, they would show certain horror films. So they would show things like Friday the 13th or Friday the 13th Part 3, rather, every year. They would show Halloween 2 every year. They never showed Halloween. Now, I know Halloween showed on NBC real early on, but I would have been too young to remember that. But I do remember watching Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 on television. Um, and let's see. I was trying to, and then of course, I got into Evil Dead films at an early age, and I used to watch a lot of horror films with my aunt Sandy, that my mom's sister, and I've talked about her being my movie watching buddy for a long, long time. There was that. And also, when my family got a VCR, my dad, there for the longest time, would bring home a stack of movies about yay high from the video rental stores in town. And that's what we would do for the weekend. Like every week, pretty much, he would do that for a while, till we till we had kind of exhausted all the good ones. Um, so yeah, Dirk, that was a really good question. I'm sorry it was so long winded, but mine's kind of like a multi-part answer, I guess. Dirty say, I'll call my uncle to see April Fools. I don't have a physical copy. I know he'll hook me up. Yeah, that'll be cool. But so you say your dad would do that too? Yeah, I guess a lot of dads were similar in that respect in the early days of video. So they say my groceries are going to be here at 9:09. That reminds me of the Beatles singing the one after 9:09. But anyway, um, back to what I was talking about here. Durkee said, yeah, same for me. Halloween 2 was the first Halloween I saw. It was on TV as well. Yeah. Uh, I'm guessing maybe it was that way for a lot of people. Maybe that was the one that got syndicated more, maybe. Um, but that's pretty cool that, like, Silver Bullet was another one that I remember around Halloween time. Firestarter pretty much played every year. So there were several that I really was able to watch year after year, and it just got to be, kind of a tradition around my household. Excuse me. So, if anybody's got any other questions for me, I think I'm going to have to run to the restroom really quickly. Been drinking too many Cokes and other things, coffee drinks and stuff like that. But I will return, and y'all can be thinking of some questions that you'd like to ask me when I come back. Oh, wow. Did nobody come up with any questions while I was gone? Heck, we got 7 people in here. Sorry to be popping pills on the string, but these are only ibuprofen. I'm having a little bit of a headache and body aches and stuff. So nobody has any probing questions to ask. Dirk's got some good questions tonight. Dirky said, "What is your all-time favorite slasher?" My all-time favorite slasher. Oh man, damn, Dirk. That's a hard one. Um, just because I got so many, it's hard to pick a. You're probably gonna be like, "Oh God, dang, you're so indecisive," because you can't pick any. You can't pick just one thing. Um, I mean, I guess the quote unquote slashers that really got me started in that kind of subgenre of horror would probably be the Friday the 13th. But it's just really hard for me to pick. And, like, I guess maybe Halloween and Black Christmas, those 2 films. Um, but then you could even go as far back as Psycho, um, which is another awesome movie. So yeah, that I hope I kind of gave you an answer there, Dirk. That these are really good questions. It's just very hard for me to pick just one. Hey, Darren. So Dirk has asked 2 really good questions. Does anybody else have anything that they want to ask me just so I don't start rambling incessantly? We got 10 people in here. That's cool. Um, like Highlander, Dirk, you say only one can remain, the rest have to go. Well, since you put it that way, Dirk, I would probably have to go with Halloween. Um, and I mean the original Halloween, no Rob Zombie stuff, none of that stuff that's been out recently, but the one and only original Halloween. Um, I guess, are you talking about my favorite decade in general, Blissful, or my favorite decade for horror? Because that would be two different answers. And if you mean both, I can give you both as well. Dark, you say you can't argue with that. Either. Well, let me just give you both, Blissful. I'll give you more than you technically asked for. My favorite decade in general is the 1960s. My favorite decade for horror is 1980s. I mean, there were some good films in the 70s, there's no doubt. But for output wise of how many, like really good in my opinion horror movies, the slasher subgenre and all that, the 80s, it's got to be the 80s. um but the 60s, I always referred to myself growing up as a misplaced hippie. I would tell my mom that I thought I was born in the wrong time period. um I think it says my Kroger order is 11 minutes away. Um, so I kind of gave you a bonus there. I talked about my favorite decade for horror and also just my favorite decade in general. You say same here. Yeah, I think a lot of times, Blissful, you and I are on kind of like a same wavelength a little bit. But there have been several of you guys that I feel like, wow, this is really, that's another reason why these live streams are so cool, is because I feel such a kinship with you guys. Because although we might not think the same on everything, there are many similarities between me and a lot of you guys that are in these chats. Oh, Darren, this is a good one. You say, so give us an underrated horror film from each decade, 1960s onwards. Um, well, I'm not going to say Psycho because for the 1960s, because I don't think it's underrated. I think people know that Psycho is a great movie. Um, and you guys are probably going to, well, can I cheat a little bit, Darren? Can I look up horror films from each decade and tell you what I think my underrated ones are? Because sometimes I might forget one, and then I'd be thinking later, I'd be, damn, I'm kicking myself for this. So I'm going to bring up good old Wikipedia, I guess. Um, and I'm just going to go through these really quickly. Because I see a lot of good ones, but sometimes, oh, I got it. I got it, and you guys may be thinking I'm totally off my rocker, but I feel like George Romero's Night of the Living Dead is still underrated to this day. Um, Now the 1970s, I would have to say Bob Clark's Black Christmas. I think that is severely underrated, even in this day and age. Even now that Black Christmas has kind of got a cult following. So I'm kind of getting on a roll here. So let me look up. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if that was me playing with my mouse, but did when did I start to go away, Darren, when I was talking? Because I mentioned several 1980s horror films that um no, that's okay. You didn't put me on the spot, but I mentioned I did mention George Romero's Night of the Living Dead from the 60s. I mentioned Black Christmas from the 70s. Um, the Changeling, Prom Night, Funeral Home, um, Maniac. There were a ton that I was listing for the 1980s. Okay, so those were a handful that I said. I don't know how in the world I got myself off of there, but The Burning was one I mentioned. Um, American Werewolf in London. Some of these you guys might be thinking, geez, Louise, Nina, those aren't underrated, but I feel like they are. Um, The Shining, Kubrick's The Shining, um, Prom Night, Motel Hell. He Knows You're Alone. That was the one I said, Doctor, Doctor, Uncle Bill would be laughing so hard at that. Funeral Home, Dress to Kill, Palmer's Dress to Kill, I think, um, and The Changeling, if I didn't repeat that one. So let's see, horror films from the 90s. Let's see. Let's see here. Misery. I don't think Misery gets enough credit. Um, Savini's take on Night of the Living Dead, which I think is a great remake. I mean, just awesome. Um, Jacob's Ladder. I don't know how many of you have seen Jacob's Ladder, but that's directed by Adrian Lynn and it stars Tim Robbins. I think that is an amazing film. Exorcist 3. A lot of people talk about Exorcist 3, but I still think it's slightly underrated. Um, so I don't want to bore y'all with too many of these. Um, so I may just say from the 2000s, like now we're getting into ones that, oh goodness, that could possibly be my groceries or arriving. Okay. So guys, if you will permit me to get um to take just a short break to get my groceries in, um I'm going to go and turn on the porch light so the person out there is not in complete darkness. I should already had that. I'm going to mute my mic so you don't hear all this going on. You may see me carrying bags of groceries in through here, but I will be back as soon as I can. I hope I don't lose everybody. There we go. Remember to unmute my mic. Hopefully, I won't have to get up. When I was getting all that stuff in, this dog's got all stirred up again. So, thankfully, I didn't have a lot of groceries to get. So, um, that was good. Good for me, good for you guys. Okay, let's see. Texas, you want to know favorite Kurt Russell Disney performance, favorite Kurt Russell John Carpenter performance. I don't know if I could adequately talk about favorite Kurt Russell Disney performance. Oh, a favorite Kurt Russell character in a John Carpenter movie. I think I would have to say The Thing. I just love the character of McCready in that movie. Blitzel, you said Jacob's Ladder is in your top 10. I'm glad to see a lot of other people like that as well. Texas, you say Blissful and I watched Jacob's Ladder a few weeks ago. Isn't that movie trippy? I mean, that might be not exactly the best way to describe it. Darky said Jacob's Ladder is gold. I just ordered the imprint from Orbit after CK's review. That film is crazy as hell. Darky say highly underrated. Jacob's Ladder. Blissful agrees. I mean, I'm loving all the Jacob's Ladder love here. Danny said I need to see Jacob's Ladder. I only spoke to Dirk a few days about it. Yeah, Darren, definitely see if you can get your hands on a copy. Tim Robbins' performance. Oh yes, he is excellent in this. Dirk says, yes, run and grab it, Darren. You won't be disappointed. Maybe a bit disturbed, but not disappointed. Darren, you say it sounds up your alley. Dirk, you say, I can't compare it to any other film, and that's always a great saying. Yeah, I can't really compare it to any other film either. Darren, you say originality is always good. Let's we say it is disturbing, but it does have an eye-opening message as well. Yes, it certainly does. They do, amazingly enough, Darren. They do deliver food really late over here in the States, or at least here in Louisville. We have something. I don't know if you guys have Instacart in the UK or something, the equivalent of Instacart, but Instacart, boy, there's fees associated with it and all of those good things or bad things or whatever way you want to look at it. But it's convenience. And as we all know, convenience costs. In this case, Instacart has applied a cost to this uh, service, but in a pinch, it is always my go-to because um, I didn't even know I got a replacement on that, but yeah, that's all right. Okay. Anyways, um, I'll pay the little bit of extra for convenience because, like I said, I've been wiped out this week, really, and just I didn't really feel like going and getting groceries. And I hope you guys don't think I'm a lazy person because normally I would go get my own groceries or have Steve take me the groceries so I could get them. But I was just like, I'm out of Cokes or I'm out of Mountain Dews, and I'm very addicted to those damn things. And I really didn't want to wait till tomorrow to get them. So I thought, I just order them tonight, see if somebody can deliver them. As long as they have drivers for Instacart who are willing to do the shopping that late. And this gal was doing multiple like shopping trips. She was delivering to multiple people. So I hope we aren't missing anything. One time we got some extra stuff that we didn't order, but we also got everything that we did order. But I bet somebody was pissed because they didn't get their hush puppies, French fries, and onion rings. And we did. And I was like, oh, wow, you know. And even if you call Instacart and say, or contact them and say, hey, I got somebody else's stuff, they'll just tell you to keep it because they're not going to send the shopper back out to pick it up and try to figure out who it belongs to. Dougie say, yes, I do it too. Walmart Plus for me delivers at 9 at the latest. So Blissful uses Instacart too. She says Instacart is a lifesaver for me. Hey, Rooster. Oh, that's okay, Rooster. I mean, I know people they have lives outside of these streams, or they have other streams that, take priority over mine. I mean, I'm not angry over it. It doesn't bother me at all. And, I don't think it's possible for any one person to watch every stream that's out there. Sometimes people have to watch them on the replay or whatever. And I totally get that. Rooster, you say, I just moved to a small town, no more delivery. Yeah, well, I came from a very small town, came from the sticks pretty much. And yeah, there was no delivery like that. And there was no, Grubhub, and there was no DoorDash and Uber Eats and all of the things that I've got at my fingertips and my wallet here in Louisville. So yeah, there are some perks to living in big cities. Yeah, I'm sorry about that too, Texas, about him not having any delivery. Um, So y'all go ahead and ask some more questions. I'm going to try to finish up the rest of the decades here um, that Darren was asking about. Um, what lies beneath from the year 2000? I think that one's underrated. I think that's a great, great film. Um, let's see what else. If there's anything else that kind of jumps out at me. Not really. Because we're starting to get into a lot of the just low budget, just kind of puking all this stuff out, and a lot of it, in my opinion, is not really that good. Um, I did want to reiterate about Silence of the Lambs for the 90s, though. Some of you may not consider that horror, but certainly has some horrific elements to it. Session 9, that is not that damn movie. That is gotta be one that I consider underrated. Session 9 is awesome and very, very creepy. Sleepless, that one, I think that one's slightly underrated. That's an Argento film. I watched that with Steve not very long ago and thought it was good. Um, I'll give you a few of these that I think. Maybe Joyride, possibly. I remember liking that one pretty well. Yeah, but uh, so what about 2010 to oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna go have to check on Brandon here in a second, but let me The Conjuring, definitely I still consider that underrated from 2013. Um I don't know why the thing's listed here from 1982, but that one will probably be one for the 80s, John Carpenter's remake. Sinister from 2012. I think that one's underrated. Insidious from 2010. Some you may be thinking though, Dana's off a rocker. The Taking of Deborah Logan from 2014. You want to see a movie that gets under your skin when you thought movies this recent couldn't get under your skin? Watch The Taking of Deborah Logan. Um, oh, good Lord. This mouse. I really don't understand what's going on with that thing. I hope it doesn't kick me off of the. There's some of these movies that are 80s movies and they got them. Okay, guys, I knew this was going to happen. Uh, I knew Brandon was going to start in. I'm probably going to just have to get him and bring him back here so that he will get back in here with me and won't be waking Steve up, or we'll hear a lot of carrying on. So give me just a second, guys, and I will continue this plus answer any other questions. Okay. Um, me, oh, so sorry, Rich. You say, my senior bulldog's got attacked, so I'm being nursed to her. Oh. Darren, you say, I think we have one that delivers up to 8 p.m. It's free if you order over 50 pounds. Okay, gotcha. Dargy say, hey, they come to snuff the rooster. He won't ever die. Sorry, what's up, dude? Rooster, you say grocery store pickup saves my life. That's good too, grocery store pickups. Or they basically have it ready for you. And sorry, I don't know how I missed that stuff up there and then skipped down to here. Sorry about that, guys. But so you say, I didn't know we had Instacart here. I was ecstatic. I don't want to forget about this, Darren. You're saying favorite TV films and series. Um, man, Dirk and Darren are killing it tonight with these questions. I'm enjoying this. It's just, I'm kind of, I didn't know I would be at a loss because, I like to talk so much, but I can't, kind of am at a loss, a loss a little bit. Dougie says Silence of the Lambs is definitely horror no matter what the Oscars said. Psychological thriller. Hollywood looks at horror as a step above porn. Makes no sense. Exactly, Dirk. Oh God, Dirk. You want me to watch it again? Oh man, to each his own, I guess. Um, hey, thank you, Daniel. Say the taking of Deborah Logan is excellent. Rooster, you're talking about your doggy. You say she's in pretty tough shape. She is old, has bad hips, and this aggravated them. The vet gave me 60-40 in my favor, so I'm keeping the faith and her comfortable. Well, your doggy and you will be in my thoughts and prayers. Yes, Blissful. Blissful says, Rooster, I'll say a prayer for you both. Turkey said, did I mention hereditary? Yes, sir, you did. Um, Well, that's a good sign, Rooster. She's drinking water and eating. Those are both very, very good signs. Oh, definitely, Rooster. Salem's Lot is up there. The film I talked about when I did Terror in the House Tuesday, The Babysitter, with almost a Daphne Zuniga. I used to get, I don't know why, but there was a time when I would get Daphne Zuniga and Stephanie Zimbalist mixed up, and I don't know how. They don't really look anything alike. But Stephanie Zimbalist was in The Babysitter, also with Patty Duke and William Shatner. That's a really good made for TV movie. Um, let's see. Are You in the House Alone, which was another Terror in the House Tuesday film that I talked about. Basically, for me, any of those Stephen King miniseries were great. Growing up, like It and the Tommy Knockers, The Stand, um, Storm of the Century, even. Now later on, when Stephen King kind of tried his hand at the whole Kingdom Hospital thing, um, didn't much care for that one. It was okay. But some of the others were a lot more interesting because they were pure King. I didn't really care for Rose Red either, and that was actually something that Stephen King came up with, but I never was fond of that one. Yes, Darren, I am so glad you brought this one up. Don't Go to Sleep from 1982. That movie terrified me as a kid, and it still gives me pause when I watch it as an adult. I mean, I'm 46 years old, going to be 47 in June, and that one still gives me the shivers. Um, just of how well made it is and how utterly terrifying and creepy that is. If you think the possibility of something under your bed doesn't scare you, watch Don't Go to Sleep and then tell me it doesn't scare you. Um Duel, yeah, Duel's another one that's really, really good. Um Darky say, hell yes, Salem's Lot is my favorite vampire film, period. TV movies back in the day were better made films, unlike today. Exactly, Dirk. Blissful, I did like Nightmares and Dreamscapes. I did. That one was really a lot of fun too. Darren, you say Salem's Lot is a top 10 hands down for me. Well, Dirk, a lot of people have said Stephen King's directing is horrible, and a lot of times they point towards Maximum Overdrive as kind of like the ultimate example of why Stephen King shouldn't be directing. But I love Maximum Overdrive, and I like what he did with The Shining. You're probably going to be uh, trying to claw your ears off hearing me say that. But the only thing I did not like about his version of The Shining was that damn kid they had play Danny. Um, I think the original kid, Danny Lloyd, who played Danny Torrance in Kubrick's version of The Shining, was a good young actor. I don't know what this kid was from the Shining miniseries. I don't know. The kid was super annoying. He was always screaming and crying. Couldn't act his way out of a paper bag, sadly. I mean, I hate to say that about the kid. Maybe he was getting his growing pains in or whatever, but he was not really good in that. And so, Darren, you don't like the TV version of The Shining either. I must be in the minority there. Rooster, you say, I have to admit, an off subject, I'm hung up currently on The Mandalorian, but I'm Star Wars cult member. Oh, no, that's okay. Steve's been watching The Mandalorian too, and I like The Mandalorian. I just don't get as much time to actually sit down and watch it like I would really, really like to. Steve, amazingly enough, has more time than I do, it seems. Some people will probably say, well, dang, if you quit doing damn live streams almost every night, you might have time to check up on things as well. Uh, Darky say, Maximum Overdrive I can deal with, but his The Shining has so many things wrong. Rebecca De Mornay and the croquet mallet and the kid is atrocious. Well, believe it or not, Dirk, croquet mallet was actually used in the book. Granted, I like the axe used in Kubrick's version of The Shining, and I like watching what Jack Nicholson did with it. Um, but a croquet mallet was the actual weapon that was used in the book. Uh, Wendy was also described as a very attractive blonde. Now, so in all honesty, I would say Rebecca De Mornay probably fits King's version of Wendy better than Shelley Duvall did. And that's not putting Shelley Duvall down. Shelley Duvall did an excellent job as Wendy in Kubrick's version. But I'm just saying, if we want to go by the book, by Stephen King's book, Wendy was described as an attractive blonde. A croquet mallet was also used in the book as well. Uh, but yeah, I agree. The kid's atrocious. there's there's no way around that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts on that one. Darren, you say, Dana, what do you think of Linda Blair's return for the new Exorcist? I don't know. I think I'm a little bit on the fence about that. I just don't know how that's gonna go over. And I mean, do you know what role she's playing? Is she playing Reagan? Is she playing a grown Reagan, or what is she doing in this? Does anybody know any like final details or anything? Dirk, you say DeBornay is too hot for that role. Well, I'm assuming you've read the book, right, Dirk? I always took it to mean that Wendy was hot in the book, but Kubrick evidently decided to go another way with his version of it, which is perfectly okay with me. Rooster, you say have not been able to get into The Last of Us. I tried to watch a few episodes of that when Steve had it on, but it just for some reason that does not gel with me. But I never have been a big fan of either movies or shows that are based on video games. I like playing video games occasionally and horror video games especially, but I don't like when they're turned into movies or television series or cable series or whatever. Darky said that's where I feel Kubrick made King's story better. And that is entirely cool. I just like that healthy debate there. I just like to throw things out there. Um Danny says she must be playing Reagan as her mother is also in the film. I'm guessing Blair will be a cameo, though. Okay. I'm still on the fence about it because at this late date, I don't know. I'm hesitant to say this because it may sound like I'm sounding like a bitch about this, but I really don't know what Lena Blair could bring to the role at this point. What could she do with it? Darky say it's gonna suck. I feel I feel Darren, David Gordon Green, and Danny McBride will say "fuck you all" again. Probably so, Dark. You are, if not 100% correct, pretty damn close to 100% correct. Uh, Rushi say The Exorcist was like catching lightning in a bottle, one of a kind. Can it be made again? Exactly, Rooster. Good, very good point. Darren agrees as well. Um, so, and to kind of tie up the decades stuff for you, Darren, I will say that I think that like X and Pearl definitely are underrated. I don't think people truly understand, and I dare I say it, the genius of these films. Um, so I would definitely have to throw those in there. So, man, you guys, are asking some really, really good questions. I think the questions have been even better this time around than the first time I did a Ask Me Anything. Oh wow, this is a tough one too, Dirk. Favorite King novel and adaptation? Well, the thing about Stephen King's novels is I'm such a big Stephen King fan that sometimes every few years my favorite changes. So at one time, Carrie was my favorite. At another time, it was my favorite. Another time, The Stand and the uncut version of The Stand is what I'm referring to was my favorite. You would have to go back to each decade of Dana in a certain decade to truly get what was my favorite King novel at that point in time. Just because all of his books, in my opinion, are just so amazing and original, and each one is unique and separate from the others pretty much. But favorite King adaptation. Again, this is a really hard one to pick one. Um, but Salem's Lot would definitely have to be up there. Um, trying to think. I have a fondness in my heart for things like Silver Bullet, which was based on Cycle the Werewolf, and Firestarter, because I grew up watching those. Back, remember when I was talking about Halloween, those two movies would come on when I was growing up. So I really, really love those. I really think that Drew Barrymore and David Keith um, are just amazing in that film. You could really believe that they're father and daughter. Yeah, and you can't make me believe otherwise. I love Kubrick's version of The Shining. I know that Stephen King doesn't, but I do like what Kubrick did with the film, or with the source material rather. Um, Pet Cemetery, some people might think, "Oh, geez, dang, you're off your rocker." That's also another one of his books that's a favorite. Um, yeah, just hard to pin down just one. Um, Darren, you said Salem's Lot and Carrie for me. Cool. Rich, you say, I don't mind Kubrick's version. It's a work of art, but soft on following the book. Exactly, Rooster. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. The majority of screen adaptations are water and cooked down to sell those tickets. Christine is another excellent one. I love Keith Gordon in this movie, and I've said it before. I love Keith Gordon in basically anything, but now Keith Gordon is pretty much behind the camera as opposed to being in front of it as an actor. Um, but he was amazing in everything I saw him in. Even Jaws 2, I thought that Keith Gordon was amazing, but he was also in Dress to Kill. Um, he was in The Legend of Billie Jean. He was in Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. So he was in a ton of stuff in the 80s. Rooster, you said Carrie's another classic. Exactly. Darren, you said, how could I forget? The Shining is a masterpiece. That's okay. Uh, Derek, you say Kubrick did that throughout his career. He would buy the rights and meticulously making it his own. He is a master. Yeah, he was definitely the master at being able to do that and making something unique and dynamic out of whatever source material he was working from. Um, so this is, yeah, now we got 13 people in here. So this has been a really lively discussion. In all honesty, because I'm so wiped out, but I really wanted to do this one, and I wanted to introduce my new gimmick, or theme of the or not theme, but different segment, new segment I was going to put in the streams. Which, by the way, those of you that got to see me and hear me doing the first installment of the Daily Grindhouse, where I talk about what's going on with me before I get into the topic at hand. Did you guys like that? Do you think that is something that you would like me to continue? Or do you need to get back with me on that? I just kind of wanted to get a feel if this is going to be something that people will enjoy uh, every time I do a stream, starting it off with the Daily Grindhouse and talking about either what's going on with me, talk about what movies I've gotten in recently, or something to that effect. Darren, you say, I didn't see it, but it sounds cool. Well, you can thank CK for putting the idea in my head because last night I was on the tail end of his birthday bash and he was talking about my streams there at the end of his stream, and he said, "Dave, you need to get a gimmick. You know, what's your gimmick?" And I was like, "Gee, I don't have a gimmick unless it's my hat." So then I got the idea today at some point about, people talk about the daily grind when they talk about what's going on with them about work or whatever. So why don't I call mine the Daily Grindhouse? And then I'll just talk about different things at the beginning of each stream. Durkee said it's a cool segment title, and yeah, it's cool. It shows your recent pickups. We are physical media degenerates. That's right. Texas, you say, sure, why not? So I'm getting several positives. And you guys, I consider my regulars. So I consider that a really uh, positive push to continue to do it. Yes, Darren, you are exactly right. Always good to mix things up a bit. And I'm thankful that CK, from time to time, he'll give me ideas that uh, I can incorporate into my streams to hopefully make them more interesting and not get tired, of me doing, basically the same things. I did think it was a good idea to add a little something new to the stream. Sorry, guys. But as I was saying, I'll probably stay on here about 7 more minutes, and this will be a 2 hour thing. And then I'm going to get off here and try to get a little rest, just mainly because I've been so wiped out. And I'm going to go put the groceries away and all that good stuff. Don't have too many groceries to put away, but I want to do that before it gets too late. Yes, he is, Darren. CK is a master of promotion and ideas. Rooster, you say off subject, but the Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings books have so many things going, it just can't be condensed in a movie format. Yeah. That is a very difficult thing to do when you're dealing with just one book, but when you're dealing with a series of books, and I think that is where they went dangerously, horribly wrong. Even though I love Matthew McConaughey and everything, when they tried to make that Dark Tower movie. No. There is no way you could make a movie that length out of the Dark Tower series of books and make it any count at all. And that movie was a total disaster. So yes, I totally agree with you, Rooster. Durkee say, I saw last night how you're passionate about the ghost stuff. Maybe something with that. Yeah, would you guys like me to talk more in depth about my ghost experiences? Maybe I could get my ghost hunting kit out and go over it with you. Perhaps I could show my Waverly Hills pictures up on the screen to you. I may have to pull them from my other computer because I really now I use my gaming computer for most everything, but I still have my old computer hooked up. So Darren, you say I should definitely do a paranormal night? Oh, well, I would do it. Dirk, you say maybe documented cases, just a thought. Yeah, or I could mix it up. I could talk a little bit about personal stuff, but also talk about some documented cases as well. Yeah, that sounds. Thanks, guys. That sounds like a really really viable idea that I think I could put into some kind of stream here in the near future. Oh, goodness. Guys, I am so sorry. I keep yawning. Darky say, yeah, that's cool. We could share our stories as well. Oh, yeah. And, Dirk, if you and Darren or anybody else wants to come in live, you can do that as well. I'm definitely going to put that in my wheelhouse for a future stream because I think it would be really, really interesting. So, has anybody got any more questions for me during these last 3 minutes before I get off here? I hate to get off here when I've got 13 people in here. But as I said, I do have groceries put away and dog food to get ready in the little containers for the doggies in the morning. And get my, oh, Jesus. Get my shower taken, get me a little something to eat and all that. Darren, you say, I've had a few experiences I can't explain for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think some of these things are a little too hard to explain. Sometimes I have a hard time explaining my experiences too. Rooster, you say, writing is an art and some people don't have skills. Uh, Wreck screenplays beyond recognition. Exactly. You saying those subjects sound great, Dana? Well, thank you, Rooster. I appreciate that. So, how many of you guys are planning on coming to the? I almost said live streams again. The watch alongs this weekend, April Fool's Day, uh, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday, which is April 1st. And Sunday, April 2nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be doing City of the Living Dead, aka The Gates of Hell. Now, April Fool's Day, we're going to have to find our own copies. I was unable to find a for free copy online. But City of the Living Dead, I was able to find a link for that one. Turk says, except Kubrick, Rooster. So I got a few more seconds before I'm off of here. I figure 2 hours is long enough to do these Ask Me Anything type of things. Danny say, yeah, me and Dirk stream should be over by the time Steve and you stream. Awesome. Okay. But even if you weren't, it'd still be awesome because you guys are doing a really cool stream. I think. Several people think that as well. Oh, quit yawning. Oh, don't know what I'm going to do. Go to bed, I suppose. So, guys, it is at the 2 hour mark. So, I've had a fantastic time. Got lots of good feedback. We're definitely going to be having the paranormal night in the very, very near future. Probably won't be doing anything tonight, tomorrow night, as I said earlier. But Saturday and Sunday, we've got the watch alongs coming up for April Fool's Day and City of the Living Dead. You have a good one too, Darren. Dirk, you say I'll send the chat your way, Dana. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Dirk. And on that note, I'm going to skedaddle on out of here for the night. Bye, Rooster. And I will see everyone on the flip side. Y'all have a good night now. And thank you, Texas. I'm glad you enjoyed the night. I enjoyed it too. It was very refreshing for me. Oh, that's okay. I do enough talking for everybody, don't I? So that was totally fine. So I'm gonna get off of here and I will see you guys next time. You're welcome, Texas.